Hey, there's some really heavy story spoilers here from like Heaven's Ward all the way up till the end of the game. Character death, stuff like that, so, be careful. And we are live. Okay, so,
Radio.
who am I talking to today?
You can call me Memphis, or my old name used to be Bunny Bunnington because I used to be a bunny. Most people would know that, I'd say, or some people would.
Alright. And how long you been playing the game for, Bunny?
Um, I don't really remember in IRL times, but I do remember it was towards the end of Shadowbringers, like around the last or second last patch.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I kind of forgot to mute the music at first, so I had to take care of that real fast. But it was Shadowbringers music that was playing in the house,
It
so...
was indeed, yeah. Very, very fitting that
So that fits, yeah. So what classes do you like to play in the game?
Oh, a few actually. I think currently my favorite would probably be machinist, gun class.
Hmm.
Um, During Endwalker, or like after I played the MSQ, I unlocked Reaper, and I found that one pretty enjoyable. A lot of people say like it's like boring or an easy class, and I mean like yeah, it is quite easy, but it's also quite fun. I do like the aesthetic as well. It's the main thing for me.
It is a little bit easy, but I mean, I play samurai, so I don't really have room to talk.
Yeah.
Um, it is fun to play still. Although I feel like that's true about most melee DPS except for maybe Monk.
Yeah,
Um,
Monk. It's like easy to learn, hard to like master, I'd say.
right, yeah. It's a little bit easier now since they removed a lot of positionals, but I'm still bad
Oh
at
yeah,
it.
you mean like old Monk? Yeah, yeah,
Old Monk, yeah, Old Monk had all the positionals. You had to go to the flank, then the back, then the flank again, and just it was something.
oh yeah.
So now, for the people that don't know you, if they couldn't tell from your accent, you are one of our other Australian FC members.
Indeed, I am
Yeah,
indeed one of the Australians.
yeah. So you're on at kind of weirder hours of the day and night too, comparatively.
Yeah, it's around like afternoon for me. Like,
This
don't know how late
afternoon.
it is for you guys.
Okay, yeah, it's 10:30 over here right now. So
Oh yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
yeah, yeah. So what sort of things do you like to do in the game here?
Oh, it's been a while since I've been on. Like, you could say that currently I am on a bit of a break.
Hmm.
Normally though, hmm. Well, there was a time where I just log on, just do roulettes, like spam things like that. Ever since I got my house, I'd start taking care of the plants. I haven't really been doing that, but I might get back to that soon. Um, Mostly though, I kind of just log on to like chill with friends. Like I'll be visiting their houses and all that. Like I've got a friend on Ether who I visit quite
Hmm.
frequently,
Okay,
and so that's kind of what I mostly do these
gotcha.
days.
Just log in
Yeah,
to socialize a little bit, then log out and do something else.
yeah.
Okay.
Although like I do sometimes run content, so whenever I feel like it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Speaking of housing, we I asked you to pick your favorite spot in the game, and you chose this room in your own personal house.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not fully decorated yet, but this room definitely is. It looks very nice.
Oh yeah. I did spend quite a bit of time on this room in particular,
Yeah.
just so I could have like a good area in my house to hang
Mhm.
out while I try and finish everything else here.
So, why did you pick your house as like your favorite spot in the
Um,
game?
well, truth be told, I do have many like places that I would consider to be my favorite, but
Right.
many options, hard to pick. I decided, you know what, I'll just go with the house.
That's fair. That's fair. What
Yeah,
were
I
some
am.
other
I am quite.
contenders?
Um, well, a lot of them are Endwalker areas, so like might be a little bit spoilers. So I thought, you know what, I'll stick to the house.
I pretty much always put a spoiler warning ahead of these because
True,
we
true.
always end up talking about some sort of spoilery something in them. It's kind of unavoidable. honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of, have you run the Dawn Trail benchmark yet?
I have not. I've been meaning to get
Oh,
to that. I've been forgetting, let's say.
well, that's okay. Yeah, I've been taking a
Yeah.
break. You've been playing a lot of Helldivers and stuff lately, right?
Ah, yes, of course. I have been spreading that managed democracy
That's
across the
good.
galaxy.
It was very patriotic. Uh,
Indeed.
uh, are either of the well, let me ask you this question actually instead. What are you looking forward to in Dawn Trail out of what you've seen so far?
Um, I've only really seen the trailer. I'm all right. So I'm a bit of a lore person. I do like me a bit of lore. So I'd say I'm initially going to be going in for the story. Seeing what like what the world has for our warrior of light as we continue going forward. I am also quite hyped about the new race, the female Hrothgar, and I do plan on becoming one once Dawn Trail drops.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember you talking about that before about how you were probably gonna Fantasia into one of those once Dawn Trail releases.
Yep.
Either one of the classes interest you at all?
Um, I'd say mostly the Viper. I do want to try out the Viper. It looks pretty cool. See if I can like maybe get like a Darth Maul inspired glam for that if possible.
Yeah,
Um,
that would fit.
the Pictomancer is interesting. It looks a bit weird, but like I will try it out. I am the kind of person who would unlock and level all classes, as I currently have right now.
You appear to have some police coming after you in the background, I think.
Oh, should be fine. Like
Should be okay.
they'll never find me.
If I hear a knock on the door and you disappear, I'll know what happened.
Yes.
So, for the other people that haven't got to talk to you as much, what sort of things outside of the game do you like to do, if anything?
As in like other games I play, or
Other games or just hobbies, like you go fishing or something. I don't know, just whatever you
uh,
like to do.
well, I'd say gaming is kind of like my main hobby. I don't really do much else other than that, other than of course working and
Right,
just generally hanging out with friends in real life.
right. Working's more of a necessity thing, I feel. So,
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't call that a hobby, but that's more of a stuff that I do
I mean,
outside of the
hey,
game.
you could enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not, I'm not there, but I don't.
Yeah.
So,
No, no.
all right,
Very rare for one to enjoy their job, but
all
like
right.
there are some people.
Now you came from a different FC with Icy or Verena now, right?
Ah, yes, I did. I did. We also brought Nyx with us,
And
and
Nyx, yeah,
Percy, who is now no longer with us.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, that's right. The FC. I think the leaders were WoW refugees,
Hmm.
and so uh, around like one of the patches, I think they started moving back to WoW, and the FC was kind of just dying. And so IC or Verena decided, to move us all to a new FC, more alive. And so us four being the most active in the FC at the time, we decided to come with.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that happened a lot with the WoW refugees. Like half of them kind of stuck around, and then the other half, like I don't remember. I guess there was a WoW expansion. The Dragonflight one came out, wasn't it?
Okay.
And I heard that was actually okay, and so it won back a few of the WoW refugees.
All right. All
I
right.
don't know because I never played WoW.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the WoW news either.
Yeah,
It's just if I know someone who talks about WoW, that's probably how I'd get all my information.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much. I hear it secondhand through like YouTubers and streamers and stuff like that who talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it,
true, true.
and then they start going into details, and then my eyes just sort of glaze over because I don't care about the WoW
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, not really, no.
No. So yeah, so other video games, any big like video games you've been playing recently?
As mentioned before, Helldivers 2. That's
Right.
kind of the main game I've been playing. Been getting those hours there.
Hmm.
Uh, I also play Genshin, although that's also been a while since I've hopped on as well. Um, Power World, that's a big one from a while ago. I've been meaning to
Right.
get back to that one, but it's been a while.
I'm guilty of that too. I put about 20 hours into Pal World when it was fairly new, and then I kind of dropped it for other stuff, and I haven't picked it back up in
Yeah.
probably over a month at this point. Um, it's one of those things. It's gonna be there, and they're still gonna add stuff to it, so I
Oh
don't
yeah, of
feel like I'm
course.
missing out a lot yet.
Yeah.
Um, I did at least get to it and catch a boss before they patched that out, so I do have a boss on my team. Um,
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Unless they took her away from me, I don't know. I haven't logged in. Um,
Fair enough, fair enough.
but yeah, Helldivers. I knew you were playing that because for anybody that doesn't know, we played this together. Memphis plays with a few, but with my wife and a few of her friends in a different Discord.
Yeah.
And I think you have your own friend group you play it with too, don't you?
Yeah, I got my own friend group to, be able to play during my own times.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So going back around and bringing it back to this game for so people can relate to this stuff.
True, true.
What is the thing that you've done in this game that you're probably the most proud of?
Um, well, I'd say probably one getting like all of my jobs, including crafting and gathering to level 90.
Yeah.
So now like I kind of can just do anything. Except
Hmm.
I'm still a bit in like bit of a newbie to like actual craftings. Like I can't really do the like really hard ones.
Not the
Like I don't really know the
experts.
rotation for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the experts. Like I might learn that eventually if I feel like it. One other thing I'm proud of is getting this house. It is a medium.
Yes,
Although I would like a large, but a medium is better than a small, so
it is.
I would definitely count this as one of my better achievements. And as you have seen upstairs, I am working on a trophy room, or I'm getting all the trophies from all the trials from all the expansions.
Yeah.
I still have a few to go, but I'm getting there.
I've talked to Saren about this before because all that I have is a small. I keep bidding on bigger ones and I keep losing. And
Yeah.
we tried to make a trophy room in my small one and it just didn't work out. There is not enough space. And
Mm.
we talked about it before, and I don't think she understands the appeal of having a trophy room because she just likes to decorate things. And I was
Yeah,
like, you
that's
don't
fair.
understand. If I had a medium or a large house, I'd have an entire floor dedicated to a trophy room. Like,
Yeah.
so I
I mean, like
support this.
at the same time, I understand because like you can't just smack all your trophies into the room. It's kind of a bit like what I have right now. Like
Right.
I am like once I get every like all the trophies that I want, I'll like try and sort it in a way that it still looks like it still looks good while being able to display everything. It's like I understand, trophy room, but also aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Aesthetics are important. You can't just cram it all together. That's kind of when we tried it in the small house. That's kind of what it ended up being was a bunch of stuff just
Yeah,
crammed together. You couldn't spin the
yeah. I feel like
camera
with a
around.
small, you can't really do that. Yeah,
No, no, it was not conducive to that at all. But yeah, no, I'd agree that getting a house is a pretty big achievement, especially one bigger than a small. Not a lot of people get to
oh
say
yeah.
they do that, and they're very
Yeah,
rare.
I was quite surprised when I logged in one day. I to like usually I'd log in, check the housing, and
Hmm.
be like, oh no, I lost. But then I see like a notification on my side, which is housing related. I'm like, oh shit, does that mean I've won? So I click it, and then it says that I've won. I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. So I claim my house and then start decorating and all that.
Right. I posted recently in the screenshot channel. I had a miniature heart attack because I bid on a large house in Gridania, Lavender Beds, and I was number 129, and number 120 won it. But I like my eyes weren't focused, so I looked at the numbers and I thought they were the same.
Yeah,
And so I started to get excited. I'm like, wait
quite
a second.
unfortunate.
It says like sorry at the beginning. I'm like, why is it? Oh shit. Like, But at least I got the money back because I felt really poor at that point. Like I had to
Yeah,
put
I
in,
mean, of course. Like, at least you get the money back from it. But
right,
yeah, I know.
right. It was like 48 mil or something that I had to invest for
Yeah.
that thing. So
Yeah, I was glad 'cause I was still making guild during the time that I
yeah,
started bidding for the mediums. So, like,
hmm.
I think I had like a few million by the time I actually won the house. So
Yeah.
it was
Actually, that brings me back around. You talked about crafting and the expert stuff. How you can't do the expert stuff yet. Do you have like best in slot crafter gear for that kind of thing?
I have not like that's actually one of the things that is hard to make.
Yes.
That you have to like have a good rotation and like
Yes.
I don't even know where to start because you need like the food as well and then like the crafting tinctures. Like yeah,
We talked about this. You haven't seen it yet because I haven't uploaded it yet, but me and Shun actually talked about this too. The crafting at the highest level with the expert stuff, you can try to make your own, but that's really hard. A lot of times people buy the gear that they need up front and then they sink that gill into it and then you have to do all the like over melding to get the right materia and like over meld
yeah,
and you waste like hundreds of materia. It is such a big gill sink at the beginning
yeah,
that unless you make it your full-time like FF job, you can't make the money back a lot of times. It's
yeah.
hard. It's really hard.
It also makes me wonder like when the patch releases, the first person to like they will have to be the one to actually make the gear, right? Because
Yes.
like they can't just buy the gear because it's not going to exist yet.
Right.
So like that's what I like to think about. Like the first person to have to craft all that, like they're gonna have to be like a really good crafter.
They have
And like
like
I'm sure like there are people like that. So it's
there are, and they have like there's online resources. There are like crafter calculators
mm,
and things like that where you can do like practice rotations basically, and it'll tell you, it'll output the result and tell you like what the chances are that you'll complete it successfully, what the chances are you'll get an HQ version of it, just things like that. That's way too advanced for the level of effort that I am willing to put forth for
oh yeah,
crafting.
it is a lot of effort. So like I'm like halfway between like I want to do this, I want to be able to do it on my own, but then also
Right.
takes a lot of time.
Right. I think the high level crafting and then the I forget the official term for it, but the fishing achievements where you get like the super rare fish, big fishing or whatever it's called, where you might have like one 20-minute time window and a period of like 2 months for a specific fish.
Jesus. I
Right.
haven't heard
So,
of that one. But, like I do know of the rainbow fish, which I occasionally go on fishing trips with my friend with
mhm.
to try and get it. They got the fish. I almost got the fish, and I decided to just buy the fish off them and have it in my trophy room because I couldn't be bothered to go back. So I'm like, you know what? I tried. I'm gonna count this as I would have gotten the fish anyway at some point.
True.
So
True.
it's mine now.
No one has to know.
No one has to. Well, except for everyone watching this
Except for
video. No one
everyone
has
here,
to.
nobody say anything. So, since you are all like all the way caught up, you finished the entire MSQ through Endwalker and stuff like that, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
okay. So you're in a position to actually be able to answer this. What was your favorite expansion?
Ooh, hard to say. I'd say like either Heaven's Ward or Shadowbringers. Maybe even Endwalker, but those two definitely. I also understand like they're also the most popular among the fan base as well.
Right.
Because like Heaven's Ward, I'd say is where shit started to pick up and like shit
Yes.
got real,
Yes.
like from ARR. Like it started to get real in like the end of ARR, but like then it got really real in Heaven's Ward, and
It
like you
did.
know dragons and shit, and like many of my favorite characters, or like a few of my favorite characters, showed up in Heaven's Ward,
Yeah.
and one in particular not showed up at some point. If you know what I mean?
I'm gonna put a spoiler warning. You can say it.
We're gonna put a spoiler. Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers now. So
Yeah. Well, I'll put it at the very beginning of the video. I do that every time, so you can just go ahead and say names.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. So my boy Horsefont,
Oh yeah.
so sad.
Yeah, that's real
Never
sad.
getting over that one. Um, and then of course Shadowbringers as well. Uh, it's kind of like where like shit was about to hit the climax. I'd say that is yeah, about where it hit the climax, and then Endwalker kind of wrapped it up, which is
Yeah,
like what you would expect from the story at
it
that point.
is.
But yeah.
It is. Yeah, and the to wrap it back around with the Harshafant thing, they bring that back so many times,
Oh
in
yeah.
some way, shape, or form when they just really want to hit you with that little extra gut punch.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, every time, like, sometimes you have like the option to say voice lines, and some of
yes.
them are like quoting him. I always pick that
Always,
voice.
always. That's
Always.
I can't drag myself away from it. It's so the first time that they got me again was when you do there's like that recap quest to go and like re-experience your Heaven's Ward journey and go to like the places and remember, and it's the one that unlocks his emote at the very end. If you remember that,
Wait, which one was that one?
it's a side quest that you can do where
Oh,
you
okay.
you
I don't think
unlock
I
the
know that.
Harshafant emote, the emote that he used to do where he gets all like excited for you basically.
Oh shit. Wait, you're
Yeah,
gonna have to show me that one later.
yes I will.
I don't think I've done that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you
I'm
should
gonna.
really do that because so basically it has you go back through the important parts of Heaven's Ward, like, and remember the journey that you had along the way, and at the very end, uh, you get his emote. There's a few things that happen, but if you haven't done it, I'm not going to tell you what they are. But it's really important. They hit you with it there, and then in Shadowbringers towards the end, they give you the option to tell Reen to, the smile better suits a hero
Yeah,
thing,
smile. Yeah, yeah,
and that hit me. That was the
yeah.
perfect place to put that. They bring it back even in that Endwalker dungeon before you go and meet Hydaelyn. And
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah,
got the buff, it's just his sword and shield, and you bring the NPCs with you and they comment on it, and I was
yeah.
like, and then at the very, very end with the walk.
Oh yeah. You get to see everyone who died along the way,
Yep,
and then of course
the
he's one
voice
of them.
lines. Yeah,
So
he's like the second
voice
one.
lines, everything. Yeah.
They know how to bring him back out, and they know when to use him. And
Oh yeah.
I wonder if they're done with it now because we kind of wrapped up the Endwalker, the whole storyline of 10 years at this
Yeah.
point. Don Trill's supposed to be a new thing. I wonder if they're done bringing him
Yeah.
out for like emotional gut punches.
Yeah. I feel like though this time they might do that more with Emmett Selk,
True.
because I think it was actually one of the Endwalker cutscenes where he tells you to like explore the world, and he tells you
Yeah.
about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because
He basically gives you a sneak peek into what's coming in the
yeah,
future
yeah,
expansions.
pretty much, yeah. Like he kind of did that with one of the patches, like the first patch even, that where you go to the dungeon called Alzatel's Legacy, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, he says something about like all the treasures there, and then like you literally have a flashback of him saying that before
Yeah.
you do the dungeon. So it's like, yeah,
You've done the Alliance raids, right?
I have done the Alliance
Okay.
raids.
So he also mentions like how we don't know enough about Eorzea, and that includes the true identities of the 12. And then the Alliance raid is all
Yeah,
about learning the
true.
true identities of the 12.
Yeah,
He's just spoiled the
yeah,
entire
bro's just
expansion.
bro's spoiling all the patches. He's gonna spoil the
Right.
next expansion.
Right. He spoiled all the expansion, and then he left before he could get banned. And then
Bro just dipped.
he just logged out. He took him and his buddy and he just logged out at the end so they
Yep.
couldn't get him. Uh, well, honestly, we're about 25 minutes in. There's not really much else to go over. Any
Oh,
like
there's one
hmm?
more thing I'd like to say. Like
Yeah.
with favorite expansion, I also like in Shadowbringers how everything's kind of like the opposite. It's like opposite day in Shadowbringers land.
Yeah.
Like, light is considered bad and darkness is considered good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like it's not only that, like there are other subtle differences where like something that you would normally consider as a slightly bad thing is now slightly good in their world.
Right.
I can't exactly like think of it right now, but like I know there were a few times where I'm like, oh, that's a nice thing that they've added there.
No, it was nice. I liked the way it flipped the script like that. I liked how it showed that in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
world, light was so much stronger than dark, basically the whole time, even like 100 years ago with Ardbert and them. Like the Ascians
yeah.
were super weak on that world and stuff, and so they they really did do a good job of flipping that around. Now, you haven't seen it yet because I haven't gotten around to uploading Shun's video, but I mentioned it there and I'll mention it here. The Shadowbringers has been described to me a certain way at one point that's always stuck with me. It's basically Final Fantasy XIV's beach episode,
Huh. Never thought of it that way. Like,
but it kind of fits, right?
I
You,
suppose, yeah.
yeah, you
I mean,
basically, yeah,
like yes, but it's also like probably one of the more serious ones. Like once you get towards
it
the
is,
end of the main Shadowbringers story, so it's
it
like
is,
I don't know if I would say like I would agree with that, but like I can sort of see that towards the start.
it is. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's basically one of those isekai like anime things. Like you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
shoved off to another world, and here's some basically vague approximations of your friends, even though it's like technically their souls or whatever. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's this whole like self-contained story basically with just references to stuff that's happened before and that will happen after. But it's also
yeah.
like really good and important, and it's like if the beach episode was the best part of the anime. Like,
Oh yeah, the beach episode, but with lore, and then
right,
it's the best, yeah, best
right.
part of
The
the
beach
anime
episode that
itself.
makes you cry at the end, and then
Yeah.
I was also pretty much in agreement with you between like Heaven's Ward or Shadowbringers, like them being so close. And I think for me it was just the 5.3 patch, which is where you fight the Warrior of Light, like Elidibus.
Oh
And
yeah.
then that was the part that finally pushed it, past the point of Heaven's Ward for me and put it just slightly above.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. So I guess to wrap things up before it gets too long, any final words or anything left that you want to say to people, or like anything that they should know about you, or just in general?
Um, I don't know. Just I guess if you want to know more about me, I'm always down to hang out. You'll either find me in my house or on Ether if I'm hanging out with my friend. But yeah, like yeah, it's hard to like think of stuff to describe myself with. Like you kind of just gotta fuck around and find out.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, you heard Memphis. Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
You can find Memphis to fuck around with at his house, uh,
And then find out stuff about me, I guess.
or chase down an ether. One of the two. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Thanks for doing the interview, and we will see you guys next time, next
Yeah.
episode.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hit that bell for notifications. Okay, bye.